Okay, I'm going to start with some of the setup areas. So there's a setup screens in your site maintenance, and you can set up details here that apply to all products within that site. You have an area, and I just went ahead and took some screenshots as opposed to trying to pull it up in the system, but we'll go there in just a little bit. But a couple of things that I called out that I found to be interesting and worth discussing. Now, this isn't all of the capabilities the system has, but some of the ones that we talk about most often, like a finite horizon. You can tell the system how far out to schedule finite. You know, it can see sales orders that are set to be delivered in November, and it can suggest a job for that sales order. But if you set your finite out to 30 days or say 60 days, it'll schedule that sales order's job, but it'll use infinite scheduling if it's required outside of your finite horizon. And what's, I think, the advantage to that is that it will show us our purchase or raw material requirements without consuming any of our resource load or resource scheduling. It schedules the materials, but not the operations. It doesn't apply constraints. So it's a nice way to firm up or finite schedule in the short run, infinitely schedule in the long run. Rough cut horizon is the days out the system will schedule materials only. Similar to the finite horizon, a little bit differently though, is that it will, with a finite horizon, it's really looking at your operations. With the rough cut horizon, it's looking at more at the materials. And then you have an auto firming option as well. So if you have, really solid method of manufacturing details, we know how to produce this, we know how much material, we know how much time, and the system recognizes requirement dates that are before a scheduled start, plus the auto firm horizon, it'll automatically firm those jobs for your production team so that they don't have to go in and agree manually to set up that job. And then your unfirmed series is essentially where the system will create firm job numbers. And we'll look at this in a little more detail, but basically when it sees an imbalance when it comes to a manufactured product, it'll create what we call an MRP job. And as a production planner, when I agree with that suggestion, it will create a firm job number. So just another tool that can be used to help reduce some of the noise. That's a term that we talk about quite a bit. It helps reduce the amount of noise so that if the system is capable of making a decision on your behalf and you've given it the information, it can do so. So that as a production planner, I'm only needing to focus in on the exceptions, things that are not falling into place for one reason or another gracefully. And it requires someone to look at those details and make a decision.